But yeah, anything you want to chat through before we get started and kind of rock and roll?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, cool. I mean, for me, I just want to story tell. Like, I just want to story tell and just like live life through your eyes of like, hey, what was it like going from 5K to, you know, going to 20K, 15K, right? Um,
Yes.
and I read the piece about like retiring.
Yeah.
Your husband. That's fucking cool.
Yeah, that was our goal and he's like we're doing it. Let's just jump all in and it's been so cool. Yeah, that's
So that's
yeah, he,
already done.
yeah, he's done. Like he's
So cool.
he's done. He's totally just home and we have our four kids. So he's like kind of helping with like some back end business stuff, but we're like he wants to bring them home also, like as far as like we have them in private school. So for one, that's an expense, like but he wants to travel. So we're actually planning to travel. He's looking at RVs and like things like that right now.
Oh my God. We have
So
we have to talk about this at the end because that's super freaking cool.
yeah, so we're planning out this next year. What we're gonna do. He's already making plans with family relatives that we're gonna be meeting up, and we will definitely go into that. That's the next thing we're gonna be traveling while I do this. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. Well, if you're good, I'll kick it off and we can just tell a story.
For sure. Let's go.
Cool. Okay, so we have Erica here. So a running coach who recently took her business from 5 or 6K a month to 15 to 20K per month. And really, really cool fun fact. Actually, am I still recording this? I am recording this, just gotta make sure. Um, is like retiring her husband and like doing a bunch of cool stuff with her four kids. And so I'm really excited to break down this interview. And yeah, like I just want to live life through your eyes and just be like, what was it like? Like scaling that stuff. So what's up, guys? So, before we play the rest of this testimonial, I do want to say that if you want help with stuff like this, right, maybe it's dialing in your foundations, so your niche, your offer, or your messaging, so that you can actually run a strategy like this and make it work. Maybe it's, running ads so that you can get more leads if you're a coaching business. Maybe it's, this stuff here, which we would consider our content flywheel, right? Your feed content, your story content, adding in some long form YouTube content or some retargeting ads to help warm people up, right, and nurture your leads. Maybe it's DMs, right? You need help booking calls with the DMs, or maybe it's sales. Maybe it's that you need help closing calls, or that you want help scaling all of this up with a TEAM, right? A team. Um, we'd love to invite you to book a call with us, either myself or my team, to see if we can help you grow. So, if you are a coach and you want to hit 20, 40, 50K per month, click the link below this video, book in a time to chat with myself or my team, and we'd love to see if we can help you grow. So, without any further ado, let's play the rest of this testimonial. Yeah, I guess I'm curious, like, where were you, like, before we started working together? Like, how did this start?
Okay, so I just started my run coaching, very organically. Like on Instagram was like the big thing. Like I started sharing my own personal journey of going to my doing my running and then qualifying for Boston, then qualifying for the Olympic trials. So that was just kind of like a natural thing where people start to reach out for me. It's for like, hey, can you coach me? And so I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll do this coaching thing. And so I started doing it very on the side, just casually, working full time and doing this. And I started getting people on my roster essentially and started to see like, okay, well, I can actually do something with this. And I'm doing very minimal. I think, making about that at that time, like 2K, like on top of my full-time job. And so I was like, okay, well, maybe I had a baby. This was when I was pregnant with my fourth baby. And I was like, well, maybe I should do this full time. So I quit my full-time job and just was like, my husband's like super supportive. He's always been like, to chase the dream, like do what you want to do. It's like you got to go all in on this though. So he was like, stay at home with the babies and do this coaching thing. And so he gave me like the permission or like more the encouragement because I was like very scared and nervous about it.
Mhm.
Um, and so I stepped down and started coaching a little more. Still, it was very hard, having babies. Still, he was a little guy, my fourth baby, and so I made it to like about 3 or 4K slowly. And I was like, okay, I'm kind of like stuck here at this 3 or 4K. And I ended up signing on to a different coaching program. And it kind of laid a foundation for me as far as like how to actually use or Instagram
Mhm.
to grow my business. And so I followed through that. But I was still like not confident in myself, not
Mhm.
confident in my offer. Sales calls were like very scary for me. I didn't have the confidence, but at least I had a strategy. I'm like, I know how to take this person from here to here. But like as like getting on a sales call and that like I just didn't have the confidence. So that's when I was reaching out to you because I was like, I'm kind of like here hanging out like 4K. I had like a great 5K. I think I even had a 6K month. But it was inconsistent. I was like more like 4 or 5K.
Mhm.
And so I was like, I need something more like hands. I don't know. Like it seemed like you were showing your results. You were showing like what it was like and how possible it could be. And I'm like, I feel like this something's missing. So I joined your program
Yeah.
and super amazing, like being in your program because it's like you're in there with us and like everyone's just like such a great community. And then you have sales coach, you have the content coach, you have um it's just such great support. And so I felt like I was just held like my hands. I felt like we were walking this together. Like I felt like so supportive. Like any question, like no question was too like crazy or anything. So I just felt like I was really well taken care of in that regard. But not only that, like from like reviewing my sales calls, which I was super nervous about, but
Yeah.
like your group just it's so warm. I don't know, like the feel and the vibe in your group compared to the last coaching program I was in, it was like very cold and very like maybe I felt like I was not at a caliber like that I should like that they were. Maybe it was I was a little intimidated. It just made me feel that way. But with your program, I was like so warm and so like I felt like a big hug. Like, like, that's exactly how I felt compared to the other. So anyway, I feel like the first thing too was just like really solidifying my offer, really like getting confident in that, like my mindset. I feel like it was a big mindset shift. Yeah.
Can I backtrack on a couple things? There's a couple things I want to hit on that were cool there.
Okay.
That's cool. So just to recap, so you started your business, so like people were coming to you for stuff. So you're like, okay,
Yeah. Like I was posting on Instagram. Like I was doing that part.
yeah. You were like really showing up. You're like, okay, there's something here. So you kind of went on your own. You got to 3 or 4K per month, and then you're like, okay, but I'm kind of stuck here. And then you were like, okay, let me go get some help. And then you got into a coaching program, and that was helpful, laid some foundation that like
Yeah.
the needle a little bit. But then you kind of got to this other point, and you were like, okay, but I just need something more. Like, what was going on? Like, what were you feeling in that moment? Like, what was going through your head when you're like, I just need something different? Like, what was it?
Um, I honestly like just that accountability. That's like walking with me essentially
Mm.
like here I know what to do, like they're saying like do this, do this, do this,
Yeah.
and I'm just kind of like okay, I'm gonna do it. And I was doing the process, but there was just like a something about like I just didn't feel confident, like I know what I'm doing, but like I don't feel like I'm confident in what I'm doing, or like I don't know, I just didn't feel like I had that support, or essentially I just didn't feel like I was walking with anybody. I was just like, here's what you do it. And I'm like, okay, take them through my DMs, okay, conversation, okay, book a call. And then it was to the time for the call and I'm like, okay, like, and then flow with the conversation of a sales call. But it was, I feel like after I joined your program, like I'm learning, I felt like I learned a lot more. I felt like I had a community of people that like were walking with me through this, asking questions, and I wasn't hesitant to ask questions
Mm.
just
Got it.
like that. It was basically just the support and feeling kind of lonely. I feel like I was a little lonely
Yeah, yeah,
for the most part in the pre.
yeah.
Uh,
Were you feeling like your income wasn't predictable or that it was like roller coastery or it was none of that? It was just like you just felt like you were come missing something.
I was just missing something. I mean, I feel like maybe I could have like eventually gotten it up to like a point where I wanted it,
Yeah.
as far as like income, because it was growing. It was going from like 2K, 3K, 6K.
Yeah.
So I knew it was going, and that's kind of when I reached out to you. But my thing was my sales calls too were just like, I think at that point it was like something's not working here. So I think it was when I started, I had a
Oh,
sales call review, and that's kind of where things kind of started changing. I feel like that gave me a lot of confidence, like getting that specific coaching for sales.
so I guess that's something that you mentioned to me too, is like you kind of knew, you're like you knew your close rate wasn't where it should have been kind of thing. I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, that was inconsistent.
Yeah.
Close rate was not super consistent.
Yeah.
But I had also just like recently, like I was playing around with pricing and I was like moving a lot of things around. I think I just didn't know how to organize myself where I was like moving too many variables and like, what is exactly that's the thing that's working? So it was
Yeah.
like kind of just trying all the things, like I knew all the things I was supposed to do, but doing them all at once and doing it like it was just overwhelming and just feeling like, I don't know, like I'm moving this, I changed my prices, I'm changing my sales script, but I think it was like also like I was just doing too many things.
Yeah.
And so having that direction, I think it was Ben was like telling me like to don't change everything. Like first focus on the one thing so we can really figure out
What's going
what is it really your sales calls? Is it really your script? Is it or like your DMs? Like
on?
so like try not to change too many things. And so I think just having that like because I get distracted. And that's what something I told Mika too, is just like I get very distracted. Like I like hear something like, oh, I need to try that. And I'm like starting to do something new and then it just throws everything off. So I
Yeah.
think that was a huge thing too, is just like focusing and being very intentional instead of like, let me just try that and let me just try this, let me do this.
As
It
a
can be overwhelming because there's so many things to do, but what's best for me?
I am convinced that our number one job is actually telling people what not to do. Like, not just what to do, but what to not do and what to not focus on because there's a lot. Yeah.
And I think that was the biggest thing too, is like I just felt like I was listening because I was listening. I because I was in a different coaching program. I think I was still talking to you, and I was like, "Well, what do I do?" And here, and I'm still searching for other things.
Yeah.
Why, right? That was the biggest thing because that's my problem. Is I think you guys were like, "Stay in your lane, stay focused, stay vision," like really exactly telling me not what not to do, and don't worry about that, and focus on one thing at a time, or like. Because I was getting overwhelmed, and I even at the very beginning too, I was like, I have I feel like I was spread thin. I felt like I was wearing so many hats, and you also kind of guided me on like, let's delegate some things. Let's look at do a time audit and connecting with Trine and uh, getting my like, what am I spending my time doing and what is actually important and what can I delegate? And so those were like, I think that was a huge weight lifted off my shoulders, having that clarity of what I really need to focus on.
I want to dive into that in a second. Before we do, on just like the team and what to focus on and all that stuff, I have a quick, like, funny side quest. But, like, do you remember in the DMs we were like, where I was like, do you want help? Like, I think I can help you, like, worth the chat. And you were like, yeah, but I know if I get on the phone with you, you'll close me. Do you remember that?
I do. I was like, am I really ready to do this? And this is I knew that that was something because yes, I was like I know you're like if I get on a phone call with you, like game over, like I'm already in. Like
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
I had to kind of make sure that I was also um ready to like do it because I knew I needed it, like
Yeah,
from
yeah.
all of your content. And I knew like or even our conversation in the DM, like I knew like it was just a matter of like when am I going to do this and when am I going to start this? So yeah, I do remember that. I thought that was hilarious.
I mean, if this will help you, that would be a good thing, right? I was like, what?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I remember. I said, I know you're gonna, if I get on the call with you, I know that we're gonna move forward just because I just know. But yes, exactly. Yeah. And I knew I needed it. I think when we were having conversations, you're sending me all these videos and your testimony, like all the things that you do. And I was binging your content. Like I already knew, like you're somebody I want to be in my corner. Like you're somebody I want to follow and like let lead me through this. So I already knew all that even before we got on the call. So that just goes to show like your content is solid and like everything, your messaging and everything that you said.
appreciate you. The fact that you, it's like on the call, it's like the fact that you got here is proof that it works, right? Um,
Exactly.
no, that's
Exactly.
fine. I do have one quick question too before we dive into like just little things that you changed. But did you have any fears or hesitations like before you pulled the trigger? Like, were you just like, "Yep, I'm in. There's no question," or like, was there like any sort of fears, hesitations, concerns?
Well, yes. Like, so one of the biggest things I was like, financially, can I do this? Like, I left my full-time job. Like, I'm not making my full-time income as a professional. Like, I'm a healthcare professional. Um, and at that time, my husband was already wanting to also leave his job. He was like, well, you're home. Like, I kind of want to be home now. Like, so we really need to make this work. Um, so I was like, can we even afford, like, if he does leave his job, like, can I even afford to pay for another coaching program, invest in in coaching if like I'm not 100% sure that this is even like sustainable? Can we grow it to the point where we need it to be so that we could both be like working at home and leaving our full-time jobs? So there was that was fear and okay, like is this gonna work? Like, am I gonna make the ROI at least, or like get back, and live? I think we talked about like how much we have, like what are our living expenses, and what are like how much can we like live off of? Like the nice thing about us though, like we did like we had a financial savings and like, so it was not like we were going to live on the streets, even if it did. So that was nice, but you don't ever want to like
Go
fear
back.
losing your money. Yeah, you don't want to like it's a big, and I mean, it's an investment, and to have to like just throw that away. Like, I mean, the thought goes into your head as far as will this be something that helps me in the long run? So it did cross my mind, like, do I need this? I spent money on this other coaching program.
Yeah.
So there were fears in that.
Yeah. How did you overcome those things? Like the spent money on the other programs, the like, is this gonna like, you know what I mean? Like there was fears. Like how did you close yourself on the program basically?
Right. Well, it's my husband. Like he
Okay.
was like, honestly, I'm the one who's like super tight and like don't spend money, don't like John's like, you need to do this. Like you need to pour into yourself. Like this is this is what it takes to go to the next level. Like he's like the one like who's in my ear. So if it wasn't for him, like I feel like it would have been really hard. But I do know that I learned a lot. I mean, even like, with my last program, I learned, it gave me the foundation that I needed. I learned a lot. So I knew that I would gain something. So it was like, it wouldn't be a total loss. It wouldn't be like, I'm going to grow. So I knew that. Like, I was just like, I'm going to. Like, it wasn't a question of like, do I trust you or do I like, I knew that I was going to get something out of it. Like, I am going to and I feel like a lot of it's like you put what you get in. So how am I willing to do it? Am I willing to pull into work and really ask the questions and absorb what I'm being taught? Like, so I mean, I feel like that was the biggest thing is like convincing myself that like no matter what, I'm going to learn something. I'm going to grow from this.
Mhm.
Um, and I know like how valuable coaching is. Like as a coach, like kind of like I think that we understand that a little bit more than maybe somebody else. So I know like having a coach, somebody to guide you, they know exactly what they've been there. Like so that's the fastest way, right, to get somewhere. So I kind of like knew all those things. Like I knew that was a way. And even like some of the objections, like the reason why you think you can't is the exact reason why you shouldn't. Like, or I mean, you should. Like I kind of like have heard these things and I've been listening and learning. And so I know that that's kind of what convinced me. It was like just taking all that stuff in. I'm like, I know that this is what I need, and I know. And I was told too at some point, like too, like if you're scared, like or fearful, sometimes that's the exact place you need to be when that's when you're going to grow, and that's a sign that's there's something else coming. So, um, yeah. So I feel like those were all things where like just do it. It's a leap of faith, but like you're going to come out of this in positive way. So it's just convincing myself, honestly, is like my mindset and like is really what it was.
Yeah.
Um,
Cool. That's cool that your partner was like
oh yeah.
partner that blows up a sale, right? Like and he was like the opposite with him.
Yeah, no, he was like, you didn't just sign like he was like, why didn't you just I think remember we did the payment plan and he was like, why didn't you just pay in full? Like pay in full. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so I came back to you, I was like, actually he just wants me to pay the rest just all at once.
That's it.
But
So
like, but me, I'm like, no, like payment plan, like it's a lot at once. And he's like, you're saving money this way. So
totally.
he's, but yeah, he's the complete opposite of me. Oh, that was the other thing I think I had told you. When we signed up, he actually had did a business call for me. Like he went and did a coaching program. He was like, "Oh, this is what you need." And he signed up. He put a deposit and everything. And I'm like, but I was talking to you. So I was like, so we actually put a deposit on something that we never even used. So that's just that's how he is. He's just like, oh no, she needs it. And I'm like, who is this random coach that you're putting money towards? Like, I don't want to work with that coach. Like, I don't know that person. He's like, I did it for you. Like you, so so that's not a concern. Like he didn't even like ask me. He was just like, I just signed you up for coaching programs. So that's remember, I think I told you, I was like, I think he signed up for a coaching
Yeah,
program actually already. Do you remember that?
it's
I was
funny.
like, I think he signed up for a coaching already. So I was like kind of not sure what was going to happen with that, but I was like, no, I don't know who that person is, and I'm not going to do that. So I think I don't know if we still have a deposit somewhere or like, I don't even, I never looked into it.
What
I
is
don't even know. He like gave money to somebody and I was like, I've just signed you up. But that's just how he is. And like he just the money is like not a thing for him. And I'm like, we literally we're like, I left my job, you want to leave. Like we have a little savings. It's not a huge thing, but like he was like, oh, you need it. And that's just his nature. Like even for our kids' daycare, like he's like, I had to put a deposit here and just to hold our spot just in case we want it. And I'm like, why are you just like putting money? So
100%?
anyway, that's just how he is. He doesn't, yeah.
So he convinced you to take the leap. You took the leap, and then what specifically did you do? Like, how did you get there? What shifts did you make? I have a couple notes. Uh,
Yeah.
do you want to go first? Do you want to lead the way? Like, what changed?
Um,
How did you 3 or 4X? Like, what did you do?
well, the first thing was hire a setter because that was like so stressful for me to be able to manage
Mhm.
um, a setter. Like, I mean, like in the DM because I was so overwhelmed. I was felt like I was doing this and doing that and not anything really well. So yeah, like I was not following up with people and just people were getting like lost in the mix. And so I found somebody who could just like be dedicated to my messaging.
When did you
And
hire
so,
them? Is that when they were at when you were you at 5K, 10K, 15K?
yeah, I think I was at about 5K or maybe I don't exactly remember. I think it was like a month or two in. Like, so I think maybe I had already maybe been at like 10K, maybe. Maybe I
Yeah.
was starting to like get up and I was like, okay, I think now I can hire the setter because I'd gotten up to like 10K, I feel like at that point.
Yep.
Um, is when I think you recommended around that point
Yeah.
to do that. So yeah, I was a lot like overwhelmed and just that was a huge relief because the DMs were crazy for me to keep up with. I remember being very stressed out about that. And so once I hired the setter, it was like a, I could breathe and I didn't feel like I was drowning. Um, I tried to get my husband to do the setting like in the evenings, but it was like, no.
Yeah. Okay. So you hired a setter. So that was
Yeah.
one. So that's like you got a
Mhm.
bunch of your time back, and then you
Yeah.
weren't absolutely everything, and you could do slightly less things, and that stuff was off your plate. So that gave you some time back. What else?
Mhm. Um, what else did I do? I mean, I just know like since I was focusing more on closing, I had more time to do closing. I opened up like the hours I could take the calls and we started booking a lot of calls. Like literally once I got the setter, that's where everything just changed because I was now booking like 6 to 7 like 6 calls a day. Like I was booking a lot of calls and I
Yeah.
um my schedule like I was even like then now overwhelmed with like oh my gosh like how can I handle all these calls and getting maybe thinking about getting a closer but I still don't think I should do that yet but like that's like the next thing that I was like thinking of like that but I don't know if I've done anything actually other than just like continuing to like do the ads and the ads are working and then getting the script of the DM flow and get all that kind of like really solidified.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know if I've changed a whole lot else. I mean, I don't know if you have any other notes or thoughts of maybe
Nope.
I may have missed something, but those
Nope.
to me that was like the big thing.
I remember the first two things, like when we started chatting, was definitely like closing better, right? And raising your price points. So you did raise your price point, right?
I did. So we went like like I changed them a couple of times just to kind of like feel like what felt right. And so I finally got to a good place where I'm like, I feel good about saying this. And so I think that was a huge piece too, is like just like my confidence and like what felt
Mhm.
good for me, right? So I did, and so I increased it from when I started, like a good like a good amount. I don't know if you want to know like what the offer is or what.
Yeah, what's the offer price point?
So for now I put 370, it's like 375 per month. Or they can do a package of 4 months would be, so I did 4, 8, and 12, which I found was better. So they can, you know, have, because I think it was 3 and 6, or I remember, but anyway, I did the 4, 8, and 12 because 8 months was like, that's just what everybody seemed to want.
Yeah. What were you
So I did a
charging
four,
before per month?
what's that?
What were you charging before per month?
Um, 1400, and then it's
Per month?
no per month. So it goes from 375, 350, 325, and then 300 for the 12 month. And so they pay in full if they want those discounted prices.
But that's now or that was then?
That's now, yeah.
Like, what's the difference? Like, how much was it a month before and how much a month is it now?
So before
For
it
the
was
eight month.
250.
For the 8 month.
Before it was 250 for per month.
And then now it's what?
Per month 375.
375 divided by 250. I mean, you raised your prices by 50%, basically.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good jump, right? That's a good jump.
Yeah, yeah. So that was that was the first thing. Exactly. We changed the prices, and then yeah, I was, because I tried different price points, and I felt like the close rate was most successful at this price
Mhm.
rate. Like the other one was too high. It was like, I think it got like, when I was doing 250 before, of course I wasn't getting a lot of calls. I wasn't doing all the strategy. And that's when I was charging like 250. In fact, I think I was charging like 200.
What made the difference for you with sales calls? So, like, the price point was one thing, because, like, that alone gave you a 50% lift on what you could have made if you would have changed nothing else, just the price point, right? Like,
Exactly.
what made the difference for you on sales calls? You said it was like the sales call review, or I remember Brett.
Yes.
Like, what was the difference?
Brevity, yes. So my thing too is I tend to talk too much. And I'm like just throwing all this stuff at people. And so what really helped was just kind of being a little more chill
Mhm.
and sitting back a little bit and almost like having them sell themselves and like really tell me why they want this, right? And so that's like my whole shift is like, before it was like, you need this. This is going to help you so much. You're going to reach your goals. It's going to be some amazing. But instead, it's like more kind of like, why do you feel like this is something that you need to do? Why not continue doing the things that you've been doing? And like, it's been such a shift. And I feel like it's helped so much. And then out like asking like, what have they seen that make them feel like I could be the one to help them? Like asking those kinds of questions, which I never did before, has been amazing. Like, because it's like people are like, well, because I've seen this and this and this, and just like, I need this because I'm tired of feeling stuck, and like what I'm doing is not working. And then so just all of those little shifts in the way I'm having a sales call has been like huge, because they're essentially selling it to themselves.
Totally. So, like, saying less, asking the right questions. How did you
Exactly.
figure that out, though? Was that like the call reviews with Ben? Was that the Slack
Mhm.
channel? Was that the group calls? It was all of those things?
I mean, I was attending those sales calls with Ben, and he reviewed like I think at least 2 or 3 of my calls. I've never had anyone review my calls before, and he gave me a lot of feedback. And every single time, like I need feedback, or if it didn't go well, it was like because I was talking too much.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm learning. Like I need to just let that, like, especially with the discovery part, and then after that, like I can, use what they said in the pitch essentially. And so, um, yeah, that's been the biggest shift until that's, yeah, been a very big game changer for me in my clothes, in the way
And
I.
just so we have numbers, like, I saw at one point you posted in the Slack channel it closed at 61%, which is awesome. Because I know, like, when we first started talking, it was 20%, or at least that month it was. But
Yeah, yeah, it was like between 30, 30, and like my best would be like 40%. I'm like, yay. So that was like a good, close. Well, before, like, see, that was when I changed my price to 250, like, but it was like when I had it like at 200, like my close rate was a lot better, but I'm like, I know I need to raise my prices. So like, um, I would say, yeah. And since being in the program, like I've consistently been above 50, like about 50%.
That's
So,
that's pretty awesome. So you like maybe not doubled it, but kind of close on a close rate. That's
yeah.
cool. 50% more, like 1.5x on your price and then 2x on the sales calls, like that's helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's been pretty good. Um, yeah, so that's been awesome. I mean, I've seen a lot of positive things there in the sales calls and
Yeah,
uh, yeah.
cool. What other
What
notes?
else? I'm trying to think.
I got a couple things in front of me. So we talked about closing. Um,
Mhm.
talked about closing, we talked about sales, we talked about the offer price point, we talked about hiring the setter. You mentioned mindset too.
Yeah, and I think that comes down to like my confidence.
Yeah.
Um, you know, of like also just like feeling overwhelmed and not having the clarity. And I feel like in the program, I feel like I've have direction, like where it's like, this is what we're going to focus on, and these are the things that we need to do to keep growing, right? Instead of like, well, this is not working. Let me look at something completely different, a totally new strategy.
Shiny
Like,
object syndrome, yeah.
yes, and I'd be like in my head in the clouds over here where I know I'm supposed to be doing like these things, but I'm like,
Mhm.
what about like set like doing webinar? What about doing the da 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 like all these like other ideas? And I'm like, I need to just stay focused on the things that I know that we need to work on. And I think that's the focus and the clarity, the just straight path of steps to follow. Like that's why I told you I was like, I just like checklists. Like just tell me what to do
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
and I will do it. Like that's gold for me. And yeah.
cool. What did you mean when you put DM warm up? You mentioned that too. Did you make any
Oh, yes, that was something I like learned from you. Was I wasn't doing a good warm up. I wasn't sending them anything like before. Like I never even had like any kind of like freebie or anything like that. But I started doing like more like resources so I can kind of warm them up, and then also do testimonials like to send to like show proof, like more social proof, more longer form content, which I still haven't really done a lot of, but at least I'm filming more testimonials and getting that so that I can send to people. Um, but yeah, so those are things that I feel like, that you've helped a lot with too, is just like warming up people a little bit better in the DMs. And
It helps
having,
your close rate, right?
I think that's also a big reason why my close rate has been a little better too, is
Yeah,
just warming up people better and knowing how to do that, right? So that's been very helpful. So definitely has something that I changed as well. Yeah.
got it. I heard the content prompts were half helpful too.
Yes, those prompts were so good. Like literally, if you go to my Instagram and like any of my viral, like anything that's gone like above like 6,000 or 10K are all from the prompts that you guys have posted in the channel. The 63 proven prompts are the viral hooks, and Nika's
Weekly stuff.
weekly stuff she's always doing. I literally will go in there and I use one of those and it never fails. Those are the ones that blow up and I start getting a lot of content, engagement, and people are following me from those. So they work. They like really work. So I'm like, oh, I love that.
That's solid.
Yeah,
Super
yeah.
solid.
Helps
Cool.
too, like not even have to think about it because I'm like, oh, look, here's all the hooks I need to use, and I just apply it to my own niche, and then it does great.
Cool. Cool.
I put that as a win because I was like, every single time, like I try to do up my own. I'm like, just be creative and do my own, and like they just flop, and I'm like, what is going on? So yeah, those prompts, those the ones that she's giving me is have been super helpful.
Cool. Okay. Anything else you want to talk about just in terms of things that made the difference for you? Do you think
Um, what's that?
we've covered it?
I think we've covered everything. Like that's the experience has been great. I love the community. The community has been so awesome.
Yeah. Cool.
Encouraging everyone, and like I said, like this community is so warm and welcoming and just cheering everyone on. Like it's great.
Yeah, that's cool. Super cool. Okay. The big moment, like where are you at now?
Well, we've had consistent 15K months. I had my biggest month in January was 20K. But we're we're solid. So I'm so happy with that. To the point where like, yeah, my husband's like, I feel like we're good. We're gonna just keep on trucking and doing it. So he's left his job and we're planning some fun travels with the family this year. So after the summer, we're taking the kids out of school and like literally you can just drive the country.
Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
cool. That's what I was gonna say is like, what does this make possible now? Like, cause like 5K per month when you have a partner and 4 kids, like that's not a lot to live on, right? So like
Mhm.
getting to 15 or 20 like consistently, that's awesome. So like I guess like what does that make possible now? I mean, your husband is retired from the job maybe he didn't like, I'm assuming. Um,
Yeah, well, I mean, I think he liked his job, but it was more of like our kids are young and we want to spend the most time we can with them. So that was what he was torn with. So he's a physical therapist and I'm an occupational therapist by trade. We loved working, but like there's so many other things we want to do, which is why too, like part of my thing too is like I don't want to I want to hire a setter, I want to hire a closer so that I'm not having to spend all my time doing it. So those are the next steps, but for now, we're gonna go and spend time with our kids and travel. His parents, see too, his parents are aging. They're currently traveling right now. They've been traveling on the road RVing, so he kind of wants to join them and spend more time while they're able to. And so it's just time is so precious. So for us, it's like really valuable. We want to maximize our time with our family and our kids. So we're gonna go and travel and vacation and just let life and the road take us where it takes us. But yeah, having that flexibility is super cool to be able to say that like we're planning this is for me a little surreal. I'm like, are we like, can we do this? Like so used to like the 9 to 5 and him going to work and stuff, but he's like all in, ready to take the travels and it's gonna be exciting.
that is really exciting. And I think it's like, I also think that that's super inspirational for somebody who, like, there are moms out there who are like, but can I do this because I have kids? And like, that is really cool that you did that with 4 kids, you know? Yeah.
4 kids and I mean I still run and I still take care of myself. So like I try not to let this like be so overwhelming so much. That's why I was like, okay, it's important for me to like get somebody to help me with the DM. Things that are making me feel if it's costing me too much sacrifice, it's like, well, we need to buy back our time too and have someone in our DMs, have someone eventually close for us. And then all I have to do is kind of manage the athletes and the clients, and I can do that from anywhere. And it's great. I think it's awesome that it's possible with like not crazy amounts of hours. Like I literally am not working like crazy hours because I cannot. Like I have kids, I have four, I had a baby. He's now 2. We're gonna be 2 in April. So but yeah, this is when that whole journey started. He was just a baby and nursing and
How much
so
would you say that you do work a week or a day? A week.
Okay, well, so so my older kids go to school, they leave, I start my workday about like 10:30 and I'm done by like 4:30 or 5. So a couple hours, let's see, 10:30, 11, 10:30 to 11, it kind of depends because I go work out in the morning after they leave. So I'd say probably like maybe 6 hours at most.
Five
But
days
yeah,
a week.
yes, I'll do pretty much 5 days a week.
Got it. So like 30 hours a week. So less than a full-time gig.
Yeah, less than a full-time gig. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really cool. I
Mhm.
think that's very inspirational. I think that's going to be like super inspirational for like a lot of moms out there, you know, to just know
Yeah,
that
yeah.
like you can still take care of yourself, you can
Oh
still
yeah.
have this business, and you can still like have 4 kids and a partner and have that be good, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm really thankful for my husband because he is super supportive. Like he's like, you need to, you need, and he's picked up the slack. So I will say, like, I have to give him a lot of credit because he'll like prepare like breakfasts and lunches and things like that. And so he's a really involved partner. So that really helps.
Totally.
But yeah, for sure, it's definitely doable. And I feel like, yeah, like I don't even know if I needed to spend that much time, but I'm like extra, like I'm like, I'm gonna give as much time as I can to do the calls and do the content and do the like, and I feel like too, like eventually, like, I mean, I feel like I should be able to work less because I'm now looking at hiring coaches and hiring, all those things. So as you grow, like your time, like, you're just managing more, I feel like. But I
Totally.
think the physical labor of like creating the content and the creating the maybe trainings or whatever you're doing, um, it's kind of like at the like earlier stages, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, yeah. As I grow, I'm looking offloading and buying back more time. The more you grow, the more you can afford to like pay someone else to do. So, yeah.
Cool. Super cool. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think that covers mostly everything. I'm
Cool.
just happy. I'm like so happy with everything, the way things are turning out and like everything, like implementing everything and just staying consistent. I think that's just like the big thing is just like now staying consistent and on it.
100%.
Um, yeah.
Cool. What would you tell someone who's thinking about the program and pretend that I'm not here? This is not a let's plug Morgan and whatever, but like, just what
Yes.
would be your candid thoughts for someone who's considering it?
I mean, I've talked to people about it, right? Like I've said, I feel like this is exactly like you'll be set up like exactly what you need to do. You'll be given the tools and they're going to be right with you every step of the way. Like you're not going to just do this on your own. They're going to make sure that everything you're doing is like working and make sure you succeed essentially. Like that's Morgan. You are literally, I think I say that to her, like you're like a godsend. Like you're so passionate about what you do. Like you truly and genuinely care about the success and like you've done above and beyond to make this program amazing. Like constantly asking for feedback, constantly like saying like what can we do to make this better? Like that is awesome. That speaks so high like volumes of like how much you care because you can see like your program is amazing. Like it truly is. It really is. And I feel like anybody would benefit like
Mhm.
from working with you for sure.
Appreciate that. My little sticky note on my little on my computer here says, "Fuck the money. I want more case studies than anyone."
Yes, yes, I know. And you're getting them. Like I mean, we see it every day with the wins and like people like what you're teaching people and what you're helping people do is like changing their lives. Like we're seeing it before
I
our
can't.
eyes. And so that's
I
exciting
want
to
to
be.
be tagged in some photos when you guys go on this trip. Yeah? Can I
I
get?
will so tag you and like I will definitely be like, we're here because of you.
Well, not because of me. It's because of you. You do the work. But I would.
Well, yeah, you help.
That'd be cool.
Honestly, like I do say somebody else said this and I'm like, this is so true. Like your vibe too, like it's energy, right? Like when you're surrounded by the people, the right people, like the vibe is going to carry that energy is carried on. And I honestly feel like if I was ever low, like I've had like a couple of weeks, maybe I was like, I feel a little low on my sales. So I'll like jump into the sales calls with Ben or like get on the content with Mika or like with you. And then like the vibe, like the energy is like absorbed and I'm like the rest of the week is amazing because I literally feel like I've channeled you guys' energy like and that's exactly what I'm like that is priceless right there like that is priceless so yeah I love that like being around you like being around those kind of people being around people like you and the rest of the team like is huge and honestly like super valuable.
Cool. I love it. I appreciate the heck out of you for taking the time to share. And I hope that it's helpful for you too, because like if you're anything like me, like sometimes I forget. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm here. Wow. Like, like you forget how all the things you did and how far you came and all that jazz. So I
For
hope it was
sure,
like
for sure. It is good to reflect. Honestly, I'm like, yeah, man, I've come a long way. Like,
months, I think, right?
yeah, yeah,
For however long it's been, maybe a little bit longer, but
yeah, yeah. No, it's you do, and it is good to kind of like reflect and be like, what? Like I went through this, and because you can forget, like once you get into the new zone and you're like, you're like, oh yeah, not too long ago I was like the one in the DMs, like, so sweating because like that's a hard job. I feel like.
it is a tough gig. Yeah,
Yeah, like it was tough, but super good. Like it's awesome. I think it's necessary.
totally. Totally. Cool. I mean, I think that's all I've got. I just like genuinely appreciate you for taking the time out of your day because I know you're busy. You got 4 kids, you got running to do, all that jazz. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
They're probably here, right? My John went to go and grab them. So they might be there waiting outside.
I will hit on the. Okay, so I hope that this case study, this testimonial was super helpful for you, super inspiring. And like I said at the beginning of this video, if you want help with stuff like this, right? Maybe it's nailing your foundations, maybe it's running ads so that you can get followers. It's using your content in your DMs so that you can book more calls. You need help with closing sales so that you can actually be signing more clients. Or you want help scaling all of this up with a team, click the link below this video and find a time to chat with us. So if you're a coach and you want to hit, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50K per month, or hopefully beyond, we'd love to help you get there. Click the link below this video and book in a time to chat with myself or my team. And best case scenario, we can partner up and help you grow. Worst case scenario, we'll at least point you in the right direction. So that's it. Lots of love, and I will catch you in the next video.